A few months ago, there was a reception here at the courthouse for some students at UTEP who were part of the Law School Preparation Institute. And one of the speakers had finished his speech early and none of the students had any questions. So there was all this empty time to kill. And this judge decided to talk about Judge Briones and explain to everyone how important Judge Briones was for the legal community and the community in El Paso. And then one by one, every speaker after that sort of had a similar speech, just extolling all the virtues of Judge Briones. And I think that that's pretty universal, the respect everyone has for him.
Judge Briones started practicing law here in the 1970s, and that was a very interesting and very transitional time in El Paso. He was president of the Mexican American Bar Association, one of the very, very first presidents. Many years later, I was president of that organization, but you know, this is somebody that was a trailblazer in that organization when there were still some real significant civil rights fights.
Yeah, Judge Briones has the distinction of being the first native El Pasoan and the first Hispanic to reside as a federal judge in El Paso.
In a border city, he's the first Mexican-American judge, and that's a very important thing and an important historical fact.
I cannot tell you enough what he has contributed to this community by shepherding the process by which we are in the present courthouse. This is a facility that will serve the needs of this community most probably for another 75 years, as our old structure did.
He really wanted something unique to El Paso that says El Paso. And so the judge really did his homework in regards to what he wanted in a courthouse and looked at materials even that were unique to El Paso.
He was a proud papa all the way along that process. And the building we have today is in large part due to the careful attention to detail that he provided.
There was a time in 2000 where there were two sitting judges in El Paso. The senior judge here had an illness, and so it was just Judge David Briones. In 1 year, and I was a young federal public defender back then working on some of these cases, he handled over 1,800 felony sentencings. And I would venture to say that if someday somebody's going to get curious about it and do the research, but I don't think in the history of the Republic that there's ever been a federal judge that had that kind of a caseload.
Judge Briones never shrunk from the responsibility. In fact, he put his shoulder to the plow. He is industrious, he is hardworking, he has the best work ethic, and he simply ensured that no case suffered undue delay simply because of the volume of work. He set the standard by which all of us today work here in El Paso.
He does what he thinks is right, and he doesn't worry about what someone else is going to say about it. And I think that in doing so, he tends to find the right answer.
I try to pattern myself in terms of how I run my court, given what I saw and what I admired about the way in which he chose to run his court.
If you work for him, it's almost like you join a family.
And it's because of the judge. It's because of the people he surrounds himself with and the tone that he sets in the office.
He's the last person that would ever toot his own horn, so I'm thrilled that folks are recognizing him because he's a giant in this legal community. He's a giant in the legal community of the state. I feel proud that our mutual alma mater, the University of Texas School of Law, is recognizing him with this extremely well-deserved award.